Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, people. So we have Aditya from HelpShift who will be speaking to us about the FOSS initiatives at HelpShift. So over to you, Aditya.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. I really hope the hackathon is going well. I just wanted to take time to talk about a little bit of, the open source initiatives and open source technologies that we're using at HelpShift. To give you a very quick background, I am Director of Engineering here. I am employee one at HelpShift and been working with the company for almost 10 years now. So, this always has been a culture for HelpShift is to be using open source technologies from day one. I have very briefly mentioned the core things that we're using here: Redis, Elasticsearch, Kafka, MongoDB, and the main backend language that binds everything is Clojure. I've also mentioned the licenses. If you can see, there's a varied bunch of licenses, but we have always ensured that we do not go into any kind of vendor lock-in, and we are not dependent on any particular company that puts out something. Um, you know, Clojure is a functional programming language. It is very interesting uh, and it has its origins in Lisp. So if you guys are interested, definitely reach out to me. All right. The development at HelpShift also happens using a lot of open source technologies. We are using Gerrit for code reviews. Jenkins is for our CI/CD. Ansible is for deploying to production. We are, avid users of Emacs here at HelpShift because Emacs and Lisp and Clojure are joined at the hip. And then we are using a lot of Docker also for local development. Again, we ensure that the licenses that we are looking at are, copy left, essentially. We would definitely not want any obtrusive licensing. Now, what all of this enables us to do is using all of this, as you can see, HelpShift is deployed on almost 2.5 billion devices on the planet, mobile phones. And we, at peak, we have seen roughly 165,000 requests per second. The amount of, we try and maintain our server response times at roughly latencies at around 50 millisecond. And, typically 400 GB data transfers that happen in an hour. So all of this is really enabled by by open source technologies, and we are really, really thankful for what is being put out and being maintained. So we can build some really, really cool technologies and scale out. The open source efforts that we have at HelpShift, we mainly prefer to support Clojure because that has been our bread and butter programming language. So we have monthly contributions that we make to a program called Clojurists Together, essentially funds open source projects and libraries that are being used and built in the Clojure ecosystem. Clojure Cider. So Cider is called a Clojure interactive development environment that rocks. So we contribute to that also. We have been the pioneers for holding Clojure conferences in India. We fund and support the InClojure conference, which probably did not happen this year, but because of COVID. But every year we do have one in India, and we also provide student assistantships for people and students who want to do any project specifically in Clojure. We have our GitHub where we have hosted multiple open source efforts. Mostly we prefer licenses which are MIT and Apache license 2.0. So we have open source projects around Emacs. There is a steep learning curve for Emacs, but if somebody is really interested and wants to start from ground up from learning Emacs and front-end development. Then we have this wonderful package called Emacs Up. Then there is a Kafka library that we have open sourced with Erlang. And then there's something which we call PyPrivate. Essentially gives you the ability to create a PyPy kind of repository, but you can host it locally, or you can host it in a controlled environment. So these are some of the projects that have seen a lot of traction, but please do visit our HelpShift GitHub to see much more. And yeah, I just wanted to end by saying we are hiring. We have locations in Pune, and we are also offering up remote positions. At this point, I just wanted to probably open up for questions, if there are any, for any kind of the open source work that we're doing. Hello, am I audible? Okay. All right. You can find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere. We would definitely be happy to answer any questions. I would love to reiterate, we are ardent followers of open source here at HelpShift. And although we do not have any dedicated 20% time that we give for engineers to work on open source projects, but we definitely do encourage people to think and talk about it all the time. Thank you. We're really happy to be sponsors of FOSSAC, and we would love to continue our association with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya.